Good morning, Chatting 10. What is going on in the crypto markets? Are we so back again? Ethereum here is just freaking nuts. It is at 4170 right now as I'm recording this. It went to 4200 earlier today. It is just going higher and higher. I don't think this rally is going to stop until I don't know, man. It's just going to keep going higher. Currently, Bitcoin dominance, it is breaking down from the support. It's pretty much piercing through. I think that there isn't any discernible support until around 55% BTC dominance. So I think we're going to see a continuous outperformance on Ethereum relative to other altcoins. There's nothing stronger than Ethereum right now in the markets. Bitcoin, it is pretty choppy right now as expected for an alt season. And I think what the question is here, do we finally have an alt season? And yes, I think we do. Right now we have the alt season in the shorter time frame, but the thing is the alt seasons, it's not going to happen in all one big spurt like how it happened in 2021 like that. It's going to be these little bursts of momentum of alt season, but you could also argue that it's more of an ETH season instead of the other altcoins, because if you look at shit like Solana, has Solana really have an alt season? I mean, it's trending upwards, and if Ethereum breaks out above all-time highs, then yeah, shit like Dogecoin, Solana, these are going to go fucking bonkers, man. Like they're going to break out of their ranges, 28 cents, go straight up here, have insane moves. Solana's also going to have an insane moves if we see Ethereum break out above all-time highs, which I think is pretty probable despite the euphoria right now. I mean, price action wise, it's finally breaking out of its 4-year-old resistance. It's finally breaking the 4-year-old resistance. I mean, it needs to close here on the daily, but at this rate, it's pretty probable with how throughout most of the day, there's a lot of buying pressure. Bitcoin, just classic alt season behavior where Bitcoin pretty much consolidates and doesn't really do much movement while the altcoins go much, much higher. So yeah, I think we do have an alt season currently. I believe that we will continue to go higher, or at least continuous wise. Ethereum might chop around a bit. It's respecting the 1 hour EMA currently, doing pretty good. Bitcoin is... Yeah, Bitcoin is probably just going to keep chopping around in this range. I was going to take this trade, but I didn't know that it would actually fucking go like that. That's crazy. But yeah, I believe Bitcoin is just going to chop around a bit. Just keep mean reverting in this weird fuckery before going higher later. I don't think we will see an outperforming in Bitcoin soon, at least with Bitcoin dominance wise just being so fucking weak and bearish that altcoins are just going to continue to run higher. Currently, the strongest one is Ethereum and also Dogecoin. I am long on this. I was telling this in my own Telegram, where I think right now is an insane long because the 4 hour close above here. Yeah, the bands are turning green on the 4 hour, and there was a pretty strong close around here, I think, and I thought it would just keep going higher. Currently, the Dogecoin long is doing pretty good. This is a pretty early long. If I wanted to get even earlier, I would have longed it here at 20 cents. But the thing is that Dogecoin's bands on the daily have just recently turned green from yesterday's close. And every time it's turned green, it has had a sustained uptrend. So we see this level here where it trended upwards from 17 cents to 28 cents. Last time here, also 16 cents to 25 cents. And here, last time here, 10 cents to, what is that? 45 cents. So every time Doge has, especially in an uptrend structure where now it is forming this inverse head and shoulders, it does have insane fucking moves. So I think Dogecoin, it is at the beginning of an alt season, at least for like shit like Solana and Dogecoin. I found, I mean, Solana's chart is, I think Solana is going to do really good too, but Dogecoin, in my own opinion, is one of the better charts, at least in terms of how much room it has to go upwards, because it hasn't really had a run yet. And I believe that if we have this alt season, people are going to reference it back to 2021 and buy shit like Dogecoin and Solana's. I think both of these will go higher, but I don't know. I personally have a preference for Dogecoins. I like the Dogecoins because this was my first exposure to crypto back like many years ago. I think I rode this wave around here and I bought like 10 cents and it went to like 50 and then I round tripped it. I put like $100 or some shit back then. It was crazy. I didn't make any money from it, but I was like, wow, that's crazy. But yeah, I kind of have a personal preference for this one. I think Dogecoin goes higher, and this is a position trade for myself personally. It'll be 20R if it hits my fucking profit zones. Yeah, let's just say that, right? And in terms of the altcoin market, well, base meme coins are going fucking insane. Key Cat, Dog and Me, TYBG, Benji, Ski, Toshi, all of these are fucking doing amazing here because of Ethereum price action going much higher, which essentially attracts more normies to hop on Coinbase and buy the ETH betas here. In terms of the AI coins, some of them are up, some of them are down, but most of them are up. Virtuals is recovering a little bit. Virtuals needs a little bit more momentum for it to finally start printing God candles. I personally position myself in a little bit of a game position here because I think it's bottomed here, and I think it goes. I mean, at least it can go something like that, in my own opinion. At the very least, I don't know if this chart's that good, but I think if anything, just like a bear market rally for shit like virtuals. So I positioned myself a little bit in this. I bought a little bit of the base meme coins. So far, I have TYBG because chart wise, this is just fucking wonderful for compressor move higher, and Coinbase loves this token. And what I also want to talk about is KTA. So I personally got a pretty decent position on this, and I was seeing this originally around here, 50 mil, and I faded it because I didn't know what the fuck this was, and then I saw it ran up to 600 mil in like a week, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And currently I was debating if I would buy it around this dip around 380 mil, but now it has retested this support as resistance, or resistance as support. So resistance was 500 mil for KTA, and now it has strongly closed above it. I mean, on the daily it hasn't yet, but on the 4 hour it has, where now we're seeing this close above this consolidation here, which signals that KTA is going to go much fucking higher. So I think KTA, this brings a lot of high probability with very low risk. In my own opinion, low probability of going lower, especially if it's alt season, for it to go much higher to around 1.25 billion. So personally, I picked up a position on KTA in the altcoin sectors. So I think for me personally, it's KTA game and a little bit of this meme coin. Like I don't really have like a lot in the base meme coins, but I don't really like it that much because a lot of these are already pumping dumpy and they're hard to hold, honestly. Like shit like KeyCat's pretty nice, but it's very pump and dumpy. You have like a day to to sell your shit, and if you're not there, then you'll get dumped on because there's not like that much liquidity on it. But shit like KTA, these are very comfortable holds since there's even people like Google. So I want to show my own thesis for it on Twitter. Was eyeing this one for a while, but flipped 500 million resistance at support, and now looks ready for a run to 1.26 billion in my own opinion. Thesis: RSI weekly bullish divergence. So let me just show the weekly chart. Currently, the chart, it is curling upwards, and yet it is the highest RSI it's ever been, which signals that there's more room to go, and it will probably hit like even higher RSI levels. And if we look at the volume chart, there is not that much volume relative to its price, because the thing about KTA is that it had this huge volume spike here. That was your signal to get out when it was the largest impulse. But now that it's climbing higher, and yet volume is actually decreasing. That is a bullish divergence, because that means people are fading this rally and smart money is positioning themselves. And even especially when this 4 hour broke, it's now inverting that resistance as support. This cannot fucking go that much lower. Or I mean, there is like a small chance, maybe like 10%, that it would break this trend structure, but for now it's just fucking amazing chart wise. So technical wise, I think it's an amazing chart. In terms of the narrative, so price climbing higher while volume still low, yeah. 4 hour strong impulse, yeah, that's what I said. Alt season finally here with Bitcoin dominance breaking, supported by ETH price action, right? Because KTA, it is paired with Ethereum, and Ethereum right now is going straight to the fucking moon. So what do you think happens to the betas to Ethereum? They're going to go much higher too. And Bitcoin dominance, it is finally breaking down, and we are having the alt season. I couldn't find anything better, because I was looking at the altcoin market for a while, and this was the best thing I could find, the KTA token. And even though maybe people be like, oh, well, if you saw a 50 mil, why would you buy? Dude, like, you can't go back into the past, and if you're going to make money and there's a high probability play to make money, you better take that play. Speculation on X peak highs calling the next Solana, right? Because Solana, it had its huge fucking run earlier in 2021, and it ran up like stupid fucking amounts. Like stupid amounts. Like I think KTA personally in this run is around here. if we were to compare to Solana's chart around here. So Solana did run up to 260, right? So I think it has a lot of room to go. Around here is probably where it is, like chart structure relativistically, but yeah, I think it has high probability going higher. Invested by Google CEO, approved by Visa and regulated. So there's a bunch of big names supporting it, basically, because I don't really know what exactly this does, but chart structure wise, it's good. They say it's like a payment network asset, wherever the fuck. I think because in crypto, it doesn't really matter how good the product actually is, but the narrative around it and the speculative value that drives the price. Because narrative is everything in crypto, because it's still like a wild west, that as long as you believe that other people would buy it, and even if you don't really know that much about it, it can still go much, much higher. So quantitatively, the price action is amazing. Qualitatively, narrative is ripe for peak retail speculation. They can move higher probability. And this is my current take profits and stop losses in my own opinion. I think it can go, there's a probability it just breaks this trend line and then it goes even higher. So we could see something like that. And then it goes off in a blow off top and like with super huge volume, and then it goes lower. Like people are saying this shit goes to $100, 100x this bull run. I don't know. It's a pretty safe bet to at least take out 70%, 75% when it hits this trend line, because that is the diagonal resistance. But yeah, that's my own opinion on KTA. I think this is the best altcoin if you want to allocate for alt season currently in terms of betas to Ethereum. So that is my shilling of it. Bitcoin liquidation heat maps. It is having a lot of concentration above at 120K. And what that signals is that Bitcoin will probably have a choppy move higher. I don't think it's going to be a large impulse, but it's just going to slowly make its way up to 120K. Yeah, I believe it's going to be a price action like this, but we'll see. August, it could just go to 120K, chill there. And if it did this bullish compression above here, that would be fucking amazing. But it doesn't have to do that. It could just hit 120K and then make its move lower, and Bitcoin dominance goes higher a bit, and then we go up later in the year like that. That price action is okay as well, but if that happens, expect a lot of torture feelings on Twitter. And holder scan wise, yeah, so KTA, pretty good holder scan. I couldn't find anything bearish about KTA. Like I was trying to find a bear case for this, but it's just there's just so high probability it just goes higher that I had to take a position. So daily monitor KTA compares like this to coins like AXRP and Solana. No wonder Visa chose KTA over any other coin in crypto. Simply superior. Yeah, so they have this shit TPS. I don't really know what the fuck this does, honestly. Their narrative is that they're a super fast blockchain, because it seems like KTA is a blockchain and it's really, really fast. Solana is 65K, 11 million. I don't even know if that shit matters, because even Solana is really fast. And is that 65,000? I don't know. I think it's pretty good though. I don't really give a fuck about the technicals this much. It's just price action plus narrative that drives the price higher. So dilution won't matter that much. Only a limited number of coins can have attention anyway, but it does not matter too much if we have 10K or 10 million coins. A bit more liquidity fragmentation, of course. Power law still applies when only a few hundred coins can have big runs. Humans can't focus on more. With good asset selection, insane gains will be made. Yeah, so he has a very good point here, where this guy says nobody ever delivering compelling evidence that an all season like in 2020 can't happen again. The only argument ever sees dilution, but it's far from evidence and barely a thesis. Yeah, so dilution is a common argument for alt season, because there is a lot of tokens, right? If you scroll on Deck Screener, there's like hundreds of tokens being made every fucking day. So there's so many meme coins that liquidity would go to. But what he's saying here is that power law still applies, where it's more of a percentage instead of raw numbers. Because if there's 10,000 or 10 million coins, there's still going to be only a small percentage of the 10,000 that gets a lot of the liquidity. If there's 10 million coins, then there will be a smaller percentage of that. So it still applies, and as long as you pick the right assets, then the alt season will be true for you. You have to pick the assets that do really fucking good. So like if you wanted to play some shit coin that was down in the ground, like I think Michi, for example, people are loving this token because it is consolidating here, but this is not really the token you want to buy here, because it's clearly weak compared to other tokens like KTA, right? KTA clearly has a trend structure higher. Okay, this KeyCat token is just fucking insane, dude. But yeah, KTA, clearly this chart is much, much better than shit like Michi, because Michi is shit in the ground. Will things like Michi come back into this alt season? I don't really know, because price action, it's very, very bottomed here. But what he's saying here is that you pick the right tokens with the right narratives. Currently, this is AI with KTA and Ray. Yeah, I think Ray is also another top token here. But shit like this, they have a lot of ability to move higher because of the price action where a lot of people are buying it. That these will suck up even more of the liquidity when Ethereum goes higher. And yeah, you would probably want to see like a blow off top. That is your way to take profits, and you know it's a top where it's a lot of volume spike. But yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say in this video. Currently, I think the markets, we will continue to go hard until it doesn't want to. I think if we go lower is if Ethereum disrespects this 1 hour trend and goes below 4100, and we will see a pullback like that. That is possible. Then alt season might be stalled a bit, but for now it is respecting it, and Bitcoin will probably continue to chop a bit and eventually move higher. So yep, still bullish, and I will see you guys.